Hi friends, let's make an ox in honor of the year of the ox for Lunar New Year. What do we need for this cute craft? Everything we need is right here. Scissors, a cardboard tube, this one's a paper towel, or sorry, a toilet paper roll. We need either a black marker, colored pencil, or crayon, a pencil, a glue stick, and a piece of copy paper. I'm using scratch paper. It's got words on one side that I don't need anymore. I'm going to use the blank side. We only need half a sheet of this copy paper. So I'm going to start by folding that big piece in half. This is the size I'm going to need, just half a sheet of copy paper. We can go ahead and carefully tear that other half off or cut it off with your scissors. Save that other half for another project. It's the perfect size for a card. So there we go. We just need this half. Here's my half a sheet of copy paper. You could use lined paper or construction paper, anything you have in a light color. If you have black construction paper, that's even better. I went and folded that in half. Okay, so there's my half sheet. Let's fold it in half again. And we're going to use one section. When we open that up, we'll see we've got two sections. One section is going to be for the color of the ox on the outside. The other is going to be for our face, the shapes we'll make for our face. So let's go ahead and cut that one in half. And start by coloring this first section the color of your bowl. Now I mentioned in the supplies that you need a brown marker or crayon or colored pencil, but ox and bowls come in all different colors. So if you have brown, you may use brown instead. Notice I'm taking the paper off of my crayon. Please get some adult permission before taking the paper off of your crayon, but I did that for a reason, because to get a lot of color on my paper really fast, when you take the paper off of your crayon, you can rub on the side and get that paper colored up really fast. Now, normally in school we do not scribble, but I am giving you permission to scribble today, because this is going to be the outside of our ox, and oxen are furry. This makes a nice texture when we color it that looks like fur. Of course, you can do this with marker or colored pencil as well, or if all you have is a pencil, you can even do this with a regular old pencil. No big deal. Whatever you have, make it work for you. There, my paper is colored. Here's my example again. This one I did with a marker. So you can see it has a similar texture when you sort of scribble on the ink or the wax from a crayon. It looks sort of like fur. There's our paper that's going to go on the outside of our tube. So how are we going to put that on? We are not going to put glue on the tube. We're going to flip the paper over, put some glue right on the back of the paper. It doesn't need much, but get a good amount around the corners so that we can then roll the tube right on top. And here's a little trick. There's two ways that the paper fits. You might want to make sure first. If I put it on one way, it doesn't quite fit the tube. But if I put it on this way, with the long edges meeting up with the edges of the openings of the tube, it fits exactly how it needs to fit. And you can use your marker or crayon to go ahead and secure the tube and the paper together. It helps to adhere the glue. And go back in with your crayon. And now my paper is stuck to my tube. I'm going to set that aside for just a moment, because now I'm going to focus on the face. I need the face of my ox here on the other section of the paper. And to make that face, it's pretty easy. We're going to draw two circles for the eyes, a half circle or a kind of a half moon for the nose with two little watermelon seeds inside, and two horns. And I'll show you how to do that on this paper. If you want perfect circles, you can trace a penny. A penny is just about the right size for these eyes. So you can lay a penny down on the paper and trace them. But I'm going to go ahead and just draw 2 circles. They don't have to be perfect circles. They just have to be the eyes. Both about the same size. One's a little bigger, no big deal, because I'm going to cut them out anyways. And I'm using pencil first to make sure I like the shapes. For the horns, I'll use the corner of the page here. There's 2 corners I'll use. I'll use that corner as my sort of marker there for where I want one horn. Same with the other corner down here. There I've got my 2 horns, and I'm gonna need my half moon or half circle nose, and I'll use the edge of the paper so that I know I get a nice clean edge there, and draw my 2 watermelon seed nostrils inside with a nose. All right, now I'll go in with my marker and make those a little darker. We'll outline them, and I like a nice bold outline. You can of course do this with a pencil to make a bold line. You can do this with a crayon, a colored pencil, whatever you have. Just make a nice bold outline of those eyes. And let's see, I made 2 little dots on the side of the eyes here to make him look like he was looking to the side. So I'll do the same here. When you're coloring your eyes in, you can put those dots anywhere because you're going to color these out. So once you have them, or cut them out, once you have them cut out, you can glue them on wherever you like. Outline the nose here. And I like these nice bold outlines because when I cut these shapes out, I might lose a little bit of that outline with the scissors. So it's nice to have a nice bold outline so that we know where to cut, and we will have a little wiggle room if we cut a little bit off. Okay, there's our shapes. Let's cut them out. I'm cutting a little quickly on the camera, but always go slowly when you're cutting. That way you can eliminate too many mistakes. And you know what? Since we're using glue, if we cut a little bit extra off, no big deal. You can always glue it back on. If we don't like how they look when we cut them out, we have lots of extra paper here to make more, just in case. There's the eye. Cut out another eye. Always go slowly with those scissors if you're using sharp scissors. Keep your fingers away from those sharp edges. And now the horns. I got 1 horn there. And we're almost done with the cutting part. And now is the fun part because we're going to put our oxen together. 1 is an ox, more than 1, plural, is oxen. All right, there's my shapes. Let's get that tube back in the picture. This is too big. This finished project is just half the size of the tube. So we're going to cut this tube that we've set aside to let dry for a few minutes. We're going to cut it in half. But in order to do that, we're going to squish it first because our scissors might not go through a big tube like that. We're going to squish right in the middle. So here's the 2 openings of the tube. I'm holding it side to side, and I'm going to take my fingers and squish just a little bit in the middle here until you can see that I've squished it just through the middle. You can still see the 2 openings on the side, but we have a nice flat spot now for our scissors to go through the middle of the tube. And it does not have to be perfectly in the middle, just about through the middle, so that we have 2 halves. And our 2 halves are going to have a skinny end and a more round oval end. These skinny ends with the points, you can save one of these for another ox or another zodiac animal. The end with the points where we squished in the middle, that's actually going to be the top of our bowl. The open end is going to be the bottom that it's going to stand on. And I do want you to notice that when you wrap your paper around, if it doesn't quite go all the way, that is okay. Here is my finished example. My paper didn't go quite all the way around, so I just colored the rest of the tube in with the black marker. You can do that with your crayon or pencil too, but that would be the back of my bowl. On this one, the paper reached all the way around. I can't even tell where it met up, so it doesn't matter. I'm just going to choose which one I want to be the front. I think this is going to be the front of my bowl, and that will be the back. But this is the top. 2 points on the edges there. The bottom is the open round part. Go ahead and lay your tube on the table so that the round part is standing up and the pointy parts are pointing up at you. Squish it there in the middle so you can see where those 2 points are. Lay a couple of fingers on one edge of the tube and gently press in. Just like that. Flip it over there. Do the same thing the other edge. Gently press in. And I have made the ears. That's where my horns are going to go. So there's the front. The face is going to go there. Now I'm ready to put my face on. I'll start with the nose because it's the biggest. I might even make this nose a little smaller. Depends on how you like it. If you want a really big one, you can yours can stay big. There we go. I always lay it down first before I put the glue on to make sure I like where it goes. I will put the glue on the back of the paper. Just a little bit, don't need much. Stick it right on. It's kind of like making your very own stickers. And now let's do the horns, because I really want my eyes to show, so I'm going to practice here where I want my horns to go. Perfect. And I will take my glue and put the glue on the back of the horn. Oh, sorry, glue. Let's stick that right in place. Same thing with the other horn. A little bit of glue there. Stick it right on, and now I can see where I want my eyes to go and how I want them to go. Maybe I want this one looking up. Oh, I like that. Let's see, I'll place it first before I put glue and see how I like it. Yes, adorable. So, I'll put a little glue on the back of this eye. Nice thing about this glue is if it doesn't dry right away, you can always peel it off and place it where you want it. If that's not the way you like it, you can replace it. And then I'll stick the second eye on, and I will say, Happy Lunar New Year, the year of the ox. There's our ox. Ta-da! Have fun, everybody. Bye. See you next time.